Have you ever wondered why some food spots suddenly become the talk of the town?
That smells delicious.
I can't wait to try some.
Why people leave their homes in the dead of night just to taste pepper soup from one strange place?
I hear their pepper soup is the best in the village.
Yes, especially on a cool night like this.
Well, what you're about to hear is not just a story, it's a warning. Stay till the end because the truth behind this pepper soup spot will leave your mouth open. Welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, hit that subscribe button and join our growing family of story lovers. Now, let's begin. They called it corner pepper, a small pepper soup joint at the far end of the village. At first, it was nothing special, just a little shed with smoke rising from the firewood, a few benches, and Mama Sade, the woman behind the pot. People passed by her shop every day, but no one really stopped to eat. Sometimes she would sit there from morning till night, waiting, hoping, but customers hardly came. The smell of her pepper soup wasn't strong enough to pull people in, and her face always carried a strange sadness. But one day, everything changed. Within weeks, the once empty shed became the busiest place in town. At night, young men and women gathered there, laughing, clapping, drinking, and fighting over bowls of her steaming pepper soup. People who swore they weren't hungry suddenly found themselves licking their plates. It didn't matter if you came tired or full, something about Mama Sade's soup dragged you in. And that was how Amara, a young girl in the village, found herself there one night with friends. The music was loud, the laughter even louder, and the fire crackled beneath the black pot as Mama Sade stirred. "Eat well, my children," she said, her voice almost too cheerful. "You will not forget tonight." Our customers cheered, their mouths busy with meat and pepper. But as Amara laughed with her friends, something caught her eye. Mama Sade bent forward to lift a ladle, and from the fold of her wrapper, something slipped out. It hit the ground with a faint clink. Amara frowned and looked down. Her chest tightened. It was a bracelet. Not just any bracelet, but a delicate one made with tiny beads that seemed to glow faintly under the firelight. Her breath caught. She knew that bracelet. It belonged to her friend Ada, the same Ada who had mysteriously disappeared 2 weeks ago. Amara's smile froze. Her body went cold. She looked from the bracelet to the pot of pepper soup where chunks of strange meat floated in oily broth. Her hands trembled. Her ears rang as the noise of the crowd faded into silence. And in that moment, corner pepper no longer felt like a place of joy. It felt like a trap. Mama Sade bent over the pot, staring with care, unaware that Amara's eyes had caught the bracelet. The tiny beads glowed faintly in the firelight, and a chill ran down Amara's spine. She remembered Ada, the friend who had disappeared 2 weeks ago, and her stomach twisted with dread. Before corner pepper became famous, Mama Sade had known only silence and hunger. Days would pass without a single customer. She would watch people stroll past her little shack, their noses wrinkled, their hands empty of interest. Sometimes they mocked her openly. "Madam, close this your nonsense shop," a man once shouted, his friends laughing behind him. "Nobody will eat from here." Mama Sade forced a smile, but at night she would pour out the untouched soup into the gutter. Her children would ask hopefully, "Mama, did you sell today?" And every night, the answer was the same, silence. One night, exhausted and desperate, Mama Sade ran from her shop into the nearby bush. The moon hid behind clouds, and the forest was thick and shadowed. She sank to the ground, her body shaking, and cried out, "Why am I cursed? Why can't I feed my children?" Her tears dripped into the dry leaves, and her sobs echoed through the stillness. Then she heard it, a soft whisper floating among the trees. Mama Sade, Mama Sade. She froze. The hairs on her neck stood on end. She tried to speak, but no words came. The whispers grew louder, and the shadows around her began to twist and move. From the darkness, 3 figures emerged. They were tall and thin, their bodies bent unnaturally like smoke frozen in the shape of humans. Their eyes glowed bright yellow, piercing the dark like fireflies. The air around them seemed to shimmer, heavy and electric. One of them hissed, "You cry for help? We hear you. What do you desire?" Mama Sade, trembling, whispered, I want to survive. I want people to eat my food. I want to live." The figures circled her slowly. "It can be done, but there is a price." Mama Sade's heart pounded. What do you want?" They extended long, thin hands toward her. Flesh, a life, someone who will not be missed. In return, your pot will never be empty. Souls will hunger for your cooking. People will come from near and far. Fear and desperation battled inside her. She looked up at the creatures and nodded. I will do it." That night, the first sacrifice was taken. A traveler had passed by, drunk and lost. The creatures whispered and stretched their shadows toward him, and in an instant he was gone. His body was never found, but Mama Sade, calm, methodical, prepared the meat and returned to her pot. When she cooked the next day, the aroma was different. Rich, deep, irresistible. People began to come. One bowl turned into many. Her business boomed. Her shack, once empty, now overflowed with laughter and chatter. But Mama Sade never forgot the price. Every time a new customer disappeared, she bowed her head quietly to the shadows in the corner, whispering thanks for her cursed blessing. And now, as Amara watched from the edge of the crowd, her heart sank. She understood the bracelet, the pot, the glowing meat, all signs that the curse was alive. Corner Pepper's fame was built on secrets darker than anyone could imagine. Next day, Amara's stepfather had been shouting all evening, drunk and cruel, when finally he barked, "Amara, go and buy cigarettes from the woman near Corner Pepper. If you take too long, you'll sleep outside tonight." Her stomach sank. She took the money, wrapped it tightly in her hand, and stepped into the night. The streets were quiet except for the distant barking of dogs and the soft rustling of leaves in the wind. The lanterns from the roadside shops flickered in the darkness, but the smell of spices from Mama Sade's shop drifted faintly through the air, teasing her senses. Amara reached the small shop that sold alcohol and cigarettes. The woman behind the counter handed her the packet of cigarettes without a word. Amara tucked them into her wrapper and started back home. As she walked, a shadow moved near the pepper soup shack. Her heart skipped a beat. The laughter and clinking of bowls were gone. Only darkness stretched along the roadside. She slowed down, peering through the shadows. Something was staring near Mama Sade's shop, a figure, moving strangely, almost like it was gliding rather than walking. Amara's curiosity overcame her fear, and she crept closer, careful not to be seen. Mama Sade was there, crouched near the fire that still burned in her pot, but she wasn't alone. From the darkness emerged 3 strange figures, tall and bent unnaturally, with eyes glowing like molten gold. The air around them shimmered, thick with heat and an otherworldly presence. Amara's breath caught. She could see Mama Sade speaking softly to them, her lips moving in words she couldn't hear. The creatures circled her slowly, their long fingers pointing toward the pot, and the shadows seemed to stretch across the ground as if alive. Then Amara noticed the subtle movements, the way the figures glided toward the pot and hovered above it, how the air pulsed as if the soup itself was responding to them. She realized with growing horror that this was how Mama Sade's soup always tasted so irresistible. It wasn't just skill or spice, it was the work of something dark, something that demanded payment in lives. The creatures nodded to Mama Sade, and she rose, moving calmly as if nothing were strange. Amara's hands trembled, and her knees nearly gave way, but she stayed hidden, trying to memorize every detail. She watched as Mama Sade prepared her pot, humming softly, the firelight flickering on her face in an almost hypnotic glow. When the ritual ended, the figures melted back into the shadows, leaving Mama Sade alone by the pot. She stirred it once more, smiling faintly, then glanced toward the direction of the main road, as though sensing the presence of the girl hiding in the darkness. Amara didn't wait to see more. Her legs carried her home as fast as they could, her heart pounding in her chest. That night, she lay awake, thinking of the shadows, the fire, and the terrible truth she had witnessed. Every steaming bowl at Corner Pepper now had meaning. Every missing traveler, every whispered rumor of disappearance, every longing customer, all were connected. From that night onward, Amara stayed away from Corner Pepper after dark, but the memory of what she saw never left her. The strange creatures, Mama Sade's calm obedience, and the invisible cause behind each bowl of soup. Now, people joke about Corner Pepper, saying it's the best in town, but Amara knows better, because late at night, when the pot is almost empty, the shadows whisper again, "Who is next? Who will feed the pot?" And Mama Uneka always knows exactly who to choose. So the next time you're craving pepper soup at night, remember this story. It might not just be pepper and goat meat you're tasting. Tell me in the comments, would you still eat from Corner Pepper if you knew the secret? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories that will keep you awake at night. Until next time, stay safe.